Located in Central America, Panama, where the 10th Conference of the Parties to the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control was organized in February, has always had a special geopolitical weight in global politics. Smoking in Panama is largely restricted, while novel tobacco products such as e-cigarettes or heated tobacco are fully banned. One can hardly see someone smoking a cigarette or consuming a novel tobacco product on the streets of Panama City. According to data, Panama has the lowest recorded prevalence of tobacco consumption in the Americas, from 28% in the year 2000 to just 5 to 6% today. In the period of 2009 to 2023, the excise tax on cigarettes skyrocketed from 15% to 100%. The sharp rise of excise tax resulted in consumers switching to cheaper products in the black markets as local criminal organizations took advantage of the new trend. Some of Panama's neighboring countries did not follow the same pace of excise taxation increases and kept it significantly lower. The latest Nielsen survey on illicit tobacco products in Panama, which was conducted in 2022 and published in 2023, estimated that up to 92% of cigarettes consumed in Panama are smuggled.
En Panamá estamos hablando del 92% del mercado es ilegal. Esto representa enormes números, sobre todo en la economía panameña, más de 165 millones de dólares que se pierden por año y es una cifra que aumenta año a año. Y para nosotros el peor problema que tiene el contrabando de cigarrillos en Panamá es el financiamiento directo a las estructuras del crimen organizado.
The reasons behind the illicit tobacco trade spike vary. One of them is geography. Positioned in the middle between the two Americas, Panama is considered the logistics center and the distribution hub for both legal and illegal products. Another reason, according to experts, is the high excise taxation on tobacco products compared to neighboring countries. For instance, in neighboring Colombia, the excise tax stands at 47.4%, while in Panama's north, Costa Rica has imposed a 44.7% excise tax. Moreover, experts point out the poor law enforcement in tackling illicit trade, as according to the law, seized products should be worth at least 500 million to be considered a criminal offence. Seized illegal products of a value less than 500 million imply simple fines. According to Alejo Campos, the problem is not spotted in the Canal of Panama, but rather in the ports.
When you have a ship crossing the canal, nobody can stop the ship to make any verification on board. But you can make the verification when the ship is on the port.
Gabriel Antonio Arroyaves Flores, Vice Commander of Panama's Acronaval Service, agreed the problem is particularly intense in ports, mainly at border areas with Costa Rica and Colombia.
El tráfico internacional del cigarrillo, como todos los países, permea nuestro país, donde las autoridades o instituciones de seguridad pública o las autoridades competentes a este delito han montado muchas estrategias para poder erradicar este crimen organizado. Puestos estos que muy bien evaden estas organizaciones criminales y que muy bien pueden ser servidos para beneficio de la población panameña.
El problema es bastante grande, donde nosotros hemos podido detectar que hay una evasión de impuestos por más de 165 millones de dólares anual por este ilícito, llamémosle así, porque no solamente hay que focalizarlo desde un punto de vista de salud pública, sino también un punto de vista de fortalecimiento del crimen organizado, y por lo tanto los estamentos de seguridad trabajamos día a día en fortalecernos para combatir este tipo de ilícitos a nivel nacional, ya que nuestro punto de focalización son los puertos donde ingresan este tipo de contrabando de cigarrillos, principalmente los puertos del Atlántico en Colón, y posteriormente son distribuidos a la región centroamericana y el Caribe.
In May 2020, Panamanian President Laurentino Cortizo admitted in a public speech that illicit cigarettes represented 79% of the market, or 55 million packs annually. He added this translated into a $165 million loss per year for the Panamanian state.
Tenemos leyes que ponen demasiados impuestos altos en los cigarrillos y eso hace que el costo público del cigarrillo sea bastante alto frente a un cigarrillo ilegal que cuesta muy barato, y eso facilita mucho más que la gente, principalmente los jóvenes, accedan a fumar en edades muy tempranas. Entonces, básicamente, es un tema legislativo por un lado, y eso está amarrado también a un tema de controles por parte de las autoridades, principalmente en la parte de las aduanas, en las zonas libres y después en la persecución criminal. Todo el dinero que tiene que ver con el contrabando de cigarrillos va directamente a los bolsillos de las bandas criminales en Panamá, que son las mismas que operan con temas de narcotráfico, con trata de personas, con extorsiones y también con el lavado de dinero que se genera en el país.
Cortizo also vetoed a proposal to allow novel tobacco products in the market of Panama. In practice, no electronic cigarettes or heated tobacco products can be placed in the Panamanian market. Novel tobacco advocates insist these products are less harmful than traditional cigarettes. On the other hand, the European Union and the World Health Organization have repeatedly pointed out that these products still represent severe health implications for the population and emphasize that harm is still harm. In addition, both the EU and the World Health Organization stress that no study can show the long-term health effects of such products. Dr. Konstantinos Varsilinos, an external research associate from the University of Patras, a known advocate of novel tobacco products, said that although there are no physical stores in Panama, one can very easily get access to products online and have them delivered to their doorstep.
We literally have a person here in the hotel getting some products delivered through online stores. But there are even worse examples, like for example in India. India implemented 2 or 3 years ago a ban on alternative nicotine products like basically electronic cigarettes, and that resulted in the explosion of the e-cigarette market, which was very, very small before the ban. You can literally find electronic cigarettes in every corner, in every street in major cities in India. The governments are also losing money from state excise taxes or value-added tax that they put on the product. So we're seeing that despite their efforts, consumption exists. Not only it exists, but it increases. But they don't even ensure that there are some minimum standards of quality available for the consumers. So they're creating something which is totally uncontrolled, totally unregulated.
For Gregoire Vaudot, Senior Vice President of External Affairs at Philip Morris International, in Panama the control of tobacco is almost inexistent. He pointed out that when one pushes the traditional tobacco policies control to the absolute maximum by imposing extremely high taxation, consumers are cornered to the black markets.
Obviously, this is an extremely serious issue because cigarette trafficking is a second-hand currency to narco-traffic. There are clear ties there. I mean, it's a well-known fact that Pablo Escobar started as a cigarette trafficker before he decided to move into the cocaine business. Those ties are still very active. The black market is very, very important here because Panama is the entry door to half of the illicit cigarettes of the entire Latin America. This is the biggest cigarette trafficking hub in the world, a world champion. So of course it has a domestic impact, and you can see the consequences over other countries in the region.
Vaudot draws parallels with Europe and particularly France, where recent studies have shown a rising trend of illicit tobacco trade. According to a study funded by tobacco company Philip Morris International, in 2022, most EU member states experienced a decline or at least steady illegal tobacco consumption, with France bucking the trend. The increase in EU illicit consumption was predominantly due to France, at plus 1.8 billion cigarettes, which now accounts for almost half 47% of the EU 27 illicit consumption, the report said. In 2021, illicit trade in France accounted for 29% of the total consumption, equivalent to 15.1 billion cigarettes, while in 2022, the number increased to 32%, equivalent to 16.9 billion cigarettes.
No one knows what will happen in France because the tobacco market is already out of control. The number one supplier of cigarettes in France, as we speak, is organized crime. So Panama is at a different level. Panama is at, more than 90% of the market is illegal by official estimates. So virtually every cigarette in the country is illegal. What makes me worried as, a citizen of the world, but a Frenchman, is that what I see in Panama is how this is imbricated with the narco traffic, which we know in France and in Belgium through access of Latin American cocaine to the harbors of Le Havre, of Antwerp. The ties are very, very clear.
Referring to the EU handling of illicit tobacco trade, he said Brussels officials have lost their touch with the market.
I think the European Commission seems to be out of touch with the market and political reality here. The fact that as we speak, you have European Commission officials in town celebrating the public health record of Panama in tobacco control, while this country is number one almost on the blacklist of money laundering from an EU perspective, shows that there is something profoundly broken in the political understanding of the world by the European Commission. These people need a serious guidance from the political level that this is a serious problem that should be addressed from all points, the tax, the law enforcement, and of course the public health.